Am I the asshole for not wanting to give my car savings to my parents? Throwaway account for anonymity. So this has been a big conflict with my family for the past couple weeks, and I'm not sure if I'm a major a-hole or if I'm being reasonable. I, 21F. Recently graduated college and have been saving up to buy myself a car. I was lucky enough to attend a pretty decent university and graduated with honors, and paid my way throughout by working basically full-time. My parents, 43F and 46M, have helped me so much throughout my college career and my entire life obviously. However, this argument has put a bit of a strain on our relationship. For context, my dad is a pretty passive person and goes with pretty much whatever my mom says, so he doesn't really have a strong opinion on this. Anyways, after graduating I went full-time at my current job and received a pretty decent bonus as well as a pay raise. Over the past month, I've saved up a few grand as a down payment for a car, eating out less and having a yard sale of some of my stuff. My parents didn't really have enough money to buy me a car when I first got my license, since they were saving up so much to send me to college. Here's where the argument starts. I excitedly told my mom about my savings and mentioned wanting to get a car so I could easily commute to work, which I have been mostly carpooling to with coworkers or Ubering if I can't find a ride. Also, my school had a bus system that came to my apartment off campus, so that was never an issue when I was in school. Anyway, my mom immediately got upset and began telling me how it would be nice of me to give my savings to her and my dad for getting me to where I am in life, and putting me through college. To be honest, I was dumbfounded. She said how they wanted to take a nice vacation and put some money towards my younger sister's 17F college fund. I told her that I really needed this money to get myself a car and save money every month from Ubering less and having to pay for rides everywhere. But she argued that having a car payment would be the same amount and it wouldn't make much of a difference. But I personally feel like this would take a huge amount of stress off me and be a big step in being an independent adult. She asked my dad what he thought and he just sided with her immediately. I got angry and started yelling at them about how I've worked my ass off to save for a car and that I'd like to do something for myself. I also called my dad an asshole for siding with my mom like always. My mom basically told me I was ungrateful and selfish, on top of screwing over my sister, then hung up on me. She's told some of my extended family about the argument, and some are on my side, like a few cousins and my grandma. But other than that, everyone thinks that I should just let my parents take a vacation. I'm stuck. On one hand, my parents have done a lot for me and they deserve a nice vacation and stuff, and I definitely don't want to potentially take away from my sister's college fund. Even though I don't understand how a couple $1,000s would make a huge dent in a college fund these days. But on the other hand, this is my money that I've saved up and worked really hard for. I want to make everyone happy, but I also think it would be nice to do something for myself once in a while. So, am I the asshole for not wanting to give my car savings to my parents? Edit. A lot of people were confused about the whole me paying by working and my parents putting me through college statements. I totally see how that is confusing. Basically, my parents helped pay for things like textbooks and school supplies, or anything else I needed that was directly school-related. I took out student loans, in my name, for tuition and fees. What I paid for was housing, food, transportation, etc. Don't get me wrong. Textbooks are 100% a hefty cost. Just wanted to clarify that for anyone confused. The college fund for my sister is for the same reasons, and she will take out loans for tuition as well. Assuming she actually goes, she's 50-50 on that at the moment. Not the asshole. Unless their assistance during college was a loan, you don't owe them anything. A vacation is a want, reliable transportation to get to your job and support yourself is a need. If you are so inclined, send them on a vacation to thank them for their support once you are established and can actually afford it. Not the asshole. People who use children as retirement plans should not procreate. Your parents seems like those kind. Not the asshole, it's your money, your mother has no right to it. Getting yourself a car sounds like a necessity for your job, it's not a luxury item. In future, never tell your mother if you have savings. Graduated with honors and paid my way. And with honors, no less. I thinks it's pretty horrible for your parents to ask for your savings. Your parents should be encouraging you to save and be responsible and be proud of what you have accomplished. However, if your parents have paid more towards your college than what you have in savings, then I would have to say give them the money. If your parents helped you through college and they want the money, it's wrong for them to ask, but I think you should give them the money. Am I the asshole for preferring an adult trip over one for kids? My 30 male girlfriend, Tara, 29 female, works in healthcare and makes about 6 figures a year. She has been saving a little bit of money out of each paycheck since she started working at 15 for what she decided would be her stupid money. Essentially money that she couldn't spend on anything practical and had to be something fun. The rule she set was she had to spend the money when she was 30. I know all this because she has brought it up pretty often over the 3 years we have been together. Honestly, I have been excited to see what she would do with all the money she has saved. Today, she came over and told me she had something exciting to tell me. She had decided what to do with her stupid money. The grand plan she had come up with was a Disney trip. Which, initially, I was like, okay, whatever. Her family lived near Disney World when she was growing up. I can understand her wanting to use some of the money for a few days there, but she wasn't talking about just going to Disney World. Her grand plan for spending the money she's been saving for almost 15 years was to do all the Disneylands in the world. Tokyo, California, Paris, and apparently there's 1 or 2 in China as well. She asked me what I thought, and I had to be honest, so the conversation went something like this. That sounds like a trip a 7-year-old would plan. Do you seriously want to waste your money on that? What do you mean, it would be so fun? For a 7-year-old. You could spend part of your money on a trip to Disney World or whatever, but I would really rather be going somewhere that was for adults and actually had some kind of culture. Well, we wouldn't just be going to the parks, we would spend a few days in each of the cities too. I then had to tell her how that made no sense. Take Tokyo for example, she was planning on spending 3 days in the Disney park and 4 days in Tokyo proper. One of the greatest cities in the world, and she wanted to waste almost half her time in an overpriced theme park? We argued back and forth for a while, and she ended up leaving. She called me a few hours ago to tell me that if I didn't want to go, she was going to take her sister as a HS graduation present, but that I was being an asshole about the trip she had planned for us. I feel like she may be the asshole for trying to take back taking me on a trip, but I may be the asshole for being honest and telling her I thought her idea was kind of ridiculous for an adult. Edit. Wanted to clear up some confusion I was seeing, although it seems I will be labeled the asshole no matter what at this point. About work, time off. I work 6 months of the year and technically have the rest of the year off, although I typically choose to work from home part-time during those months, which I could do from any country as it isn't location, time dependent. So, taking the time off would not have been an issue for me. As for Tara, she is allowed to take off pretty much as long as she wants so long as it is scheduled with her hospital long enough in advance. It does not count as PTO, so she would not be receiving pay, and if she isn't receiving pay, they don't care. Tara being a Disney adult. I wasn't really familiar with this term before this, to be honest. As far as I know, she wouldn't be classified as one. She hasn't been to Disney World in something like 4 years, and while we both watch the occasional Disney movie or TV show, I wouldn't say she is obsessed to the level of what a Disney adult apparently is. Cost. She was going to cover 100% of the cost of air, travel, Wi-Fi, hotels, food, and entertainment. I was only going to pay for incidentals like souvenirs. You are the asshole. Then you go somewhere for adults, and with some kind of culture, and let her have her fun. And no, she is not the asshole for taking back the trip after you so kindly told her it's for a 7-year-old. Just to be clear. You turned down an around the world, all expenses paid free vacation, because it is centered around theme parks? Seriously? Info. Too stupid for you? It's her money, her plan, her choice. You and your opinion are expendable. You are the asshole and extra judgment for being so sure you are right. You are the asshole. It's her money, she should spend it on what she enjoys, and there was no need to judge and insult her. Plenty of adults go to Disney. Yup, you are in judgmental awe. It is her trip that SHE has saved up for 15 years. Not interested? Then don't be upset she takes someone who will enjoy it with her. You are the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling a friend I did not want her to join my date and I for dinner? I, 26 female, have a friend, 25 female, who I met in college, and although losing touch for a bit after college, I moved to the same town as her 6 months ago for work, and we've hung out quite a bit since then. I have kind of integrated into her friend group, 5 other girls not including us, although I'm not as close with them as they are with each other, which makes sense seeing as how they've known each other a bit longer. I was recently on a first date with a woman that I've liked for a bit, 27 female. We were having coffee at a cafe, and all of a sudden, my friend walks up to us and says hi. Not a big deal, I know she comes here a lot and I introduced them. My friend is super nice to my date. At this point, I hadn't told my friend this was a date. She knows I've dated women in the past, but I wasn't expecting her to realize this was a date because it could very well have just been a friend. Then she asks if she can join us and starts to pull up a chair. My date is visibly thrown off by this, as am I, and so I say, "Oh, I'm sorry, but date's name, and I are on a date right now. I'll see you later, though." My friend says, "Oh, I don't mind," and sits. I reiterate, more clearly, "I'd love to hang out another time, but right now I'd like for it to just be date's name, and I." She says okay and leaves. I thought that was the end of it, not at all a big deal. I don't expect her to automatically know who I am or am not on a date with. I get a call from a different girl in the friend group that night, who tells me that my friend called her and was pissed off about earlier, so I immediately call my friend and ask if we can talk. She says it was rude of me to brush her off, it wouldn't have been a big deal to join us, and her other gay friend lets her hang out with him and his boyfriend all the time. This friend is not a part of the friend group, I have never met him. This gets to me a little because I feel like the two situations are only being compared because her friend and I are both not straight. I tell her that because it was a date, it's different and that she can't expect to join me on a first date. She keeps arguing, and finally I get fed up and snap at her, "Be fucking honest. If I was on a date with a guy you would have taken no for an answer and not had a problem, and then hang up." She has not talked to me since then, but she told the entire friend group and they are now split. I know this because the friend who first told me that she was pissed off as well as one other girl messaged me individually to let me know what was going on and that they're sorry about what happened. The messages from the people on my friends, maybe former friend, IDK, side are making me second guess myself. I do get that I snapped at her on the phone and was rude at the end of our conversation. I don't think I'm wrong for not wanting her to join us, but am I the asshole for the way I behaved at the end of our convo? Edit, update. Okay, so the two girls who reached out and sided with me just let me know that I'm the last few hours she's been saying stuff that pretty heavily implies that I'm not actually bisexual and I'm just straight. So I guess that explains a lot of it. They obviously were not okay with it, as one of the girls is bisexual and has a boyfriend. They both left the group chat and still want to be friends with me. The other people in our group chat have said nothing to me and honestly I don't need the drama. It sucks to realize a friend of mine felt this way about me for years, but I'm glad I at least know what was up now. I think it's weird that she's making such a big deal about not being able to be third-wheeling on a first date. So weird. Not the asshole. I'm sorry, no, not the asshole. You handled it maturely, and instead of the situation being over and done with as it should have been, she kept it going by spreading it to other people. That's massively immature. I'm bisexual and have dated men and women, and I would have been very put off by someone thinking they could crash my date after I've made the situation clear that she's not welcome. Not the asshole. And it's infuriating that your friends are split, she is very clearly in the wrong. Not the asshole. It was a first date. She should have excused herself without needing to be given a hint. You are right to be suspicious about the comparison with a gay couple because there's no other connection. Once people are actually boyfriends, girlfriends, it's normal for them to hang out with others, but even then they'd probably not want someone barging in on an official date. First date. You explained it to her, she didn't seem to get it, you explained it again like she was a 2-year-old, she got an attitude. Then she calls you being a little snot when you're still trying to be cordial, so you snap, no, not the asshole, but she sure is for assuming because one set of friends does something she can bombard things and it's okay with you, she's a mess. Not the asshole. She got really entitled and pushy, didn't she? No, you're not wrong for thinking she can't invite herself into your date. Am I the asshole for not changing my t-shirt after it offended my religious uncle? My 18F family and I went out for a meal the other day, as we are staying with my grandma and uncle, neither of whom have any desire or ability to cook. Since we had been traveling in the car all day for about 6 hours to get to where they live, a notoriously uncomfortable activity, I pulled on a simple comfortable t-shirt and a pair of leggings to meet them at the restaurant, as well as a hoodie to wear since it was raining. For context, the restaurant we were meeting them at was Wetherspoons. Hardly fine dining, and a t-shirt and leggings is 100% appropriate attire at face value. When we had finished saying hello and everything and sat down, I took my hoodie off. My uncle looked at my t-shirt and immediately hissed at me, asking what I was thinking wearing a t-shirt like that in public and to go back to the hotel and change. I refused because I didn't want to walk all the way back to the hotel in a thunderstorm just to change my t-shirt. The hotel is about a 5-minute walk away, but I didn't want to delay people getting their food for 15 minutes while I walked there, changed and came back, and also it was raining cats and dogs. The t-shirt in question has a joking picture of the cover one of those vintage kids books published by Ladybug in the 50s. It says, "Activities for children. Let's summon demons," and what looks to be some kind of satanic ritual happening in the middle. It's by an artist called Stephen Rhodes who makes a lot of similar t-shirts, and it's the first one that comes up if you Google, "Let's Summon Demons t-shirt." My uncle is very religious, Hare Krishna, and refused to speak to me for the rest of the evening after telling me the t-shirt was extremely inappropriate for someone my age to be wearing anyway. Honestly, that was fine by me, as all he actually talks about is his religion anyway, so I just played hangman with my sister on the back of a kids menu until our food arrived lol. After we left, my dad said I really should just have gone back to change my t-shirt. And now he's getting shit from my uncle for allowing me to wear the t-shirt in the first place. I hate to see my dad stressed, and it really was only a short walk back to the hotel to change. From my POV, I really don't think the t-shirt is even that offensive. However, I totally recognize that I might have been the asshole for being stubborn rather than just changing. My uncle is still refusing to speak to me, and I'm wondering if I should have just caved. Am I the asshole? ETA. Adding some extra context to clear some stuff up. 1. My uncle is a Hare Krishna, not a Christian. I kind of understand where all the comments calling me a knob and accusing me of wearing the t-shirt intentionally to stir shit are coming from, but I honestly didn't even know Hare Krishnas believed in demons. As far as I was aware, Hinduism doesn't buy into the Abrahamic concept of hell, Satan, demons. The rest of my family is atheist, so I really barely thought about it in all honesty. It really is just a comfy favorite t-shirt. 2. He is not a close family member. He irritates the crap out of me, and we try to limit contact with that side of the family anyway. 3. I am in England. Please stop telling me about my First Amendment rights. I don't have them, and God knows I have no idea what they'd be if I did. 4. I didn't put the hoodie back on because it was a thunderstorm and the hoodie was soaking. Not the asshole. He could have looked away or left if he was so offended. Personally, I'd wear the shirt more often. It apparently has powers to annoy idiots. Not the asshole. You're 18 now, legally an adult. Wear what you want, it's just a piece of cloth. My daughter wore that same t-shirt on a sightseeing tour we did a few years ago, including a tour of an historic Catholic church. Not the asshole. No, you're not an asshole, and I just googled that shirt. It looks kind of cute, and nice people should mind their own business more and just stop carrying about things around like a print in the shirt. That's nice of you. That you didn't made them wait any longer for food. In my opinion, that would be more hurting. And I know how much it can hurt to have stressed dad. And maybe it will last even longer, but all you can do about this is comfort your dad. Say sorry to uncle and just tell them all that you can wear what you want. In few years they'll understand. But, probably, you'll always remember all situations of that kind. Not the asshole, it's Weatherspoons, and you can literally get those t-shirts everywhere. I hope he never goes in HMV, he'd be horrified, lol. It's obviously a joke as well, not graphic at all. Doesn't even have demons on it. Plus, you're 18.